Hi, I'm Joe Ellison, and I'm back to read another excerpt from my latest novel, Mr. Lake, which is available as an ebook on Kindle and as a paperback, and the Amazon links are below. I'll mention that again later at the end of the video. But for now, let's get to the excerpt. This is excerpt number 5, and it comes from chapter 8 of Mr. Lake, entitled The Business. In this excerpt, we join our protagonist, little Joe Marino. Joe, faced with a threat from his nemesis, Larry Tucci, to hurt Joe's dog, Ginger, decides to launch a preemptive strike. Let's start. Like I said, I was steamed. When you're steamed, you don't think about what the other guy might do to you. You think about what you're going to do to him. I was gonna break Larry's skull open like an egg. Threaten my dog, will you? I charged across the street and cut through all the backyards, getting madder and madder. I wanted to see Larry before he saw me, catch him off guard while he was still grumbling about blackboards. I ran through the Clayman's yard. I borrowed a broom handle lying there. I ran through the fire chief's yard. He saw me and knocked at his kitchen window. I didn't even slow down. I cut through the yard of those new people with the swimming pool. I didn't know their name, but they had it fixed up pretty swanky. All the time I was cutting through backyards, I kept my eyes on the street. I got all the way to Bell Ave and never saw Larry. He had to be somewhere. I couldn't have missed him. That meant he was still at school. He had to be. Good. They hadn't let him out yet. I said to myself, "To hell with this," and ran out into the middle of the street. I was going to have it out with him, out in the open, right in the middle of the street, like in a Western. I ran all the way down the middle of Bell Ave. I had Larry on the brain so much, I didn't even notice the big kids hanging around. Normally, it wouldn't have made any difference. Big kids don't pay any attention to grade schoolers, as long as you don't get too close. But I wasn't paying attention. I got too close. Two of them I knew by sight, Peach Fuzz Hannigan and Frankie DeAngelis. The others I didn't know, but it was a good bet they were all rats. Once they made you a river rat, like Peach Fuzz or Frankie, you didn't hang out with anybody else. You were too cool. "Hey, kid," this rat I didn't know called me. "Where you going with that stick?" I must have been so mad I was out of my mind, because I said, "What's it to you?" like I didn't give a crap who he was. Another one I didn't know said, "Whoa." Another one laughed. It was the laugh that did me in. I was in for it. The first one looked like he was going to spit. "Don't mouth off to me, you little piece of shit. Give me that stick." He grabbed it. I couldn't let go. I needed that stick. I pulled back, but he was stronger. "Let go, I told you," he growled at me. I held on, but he pulled me toward him with one hand and rabbit punched me with the other. I hate being rabbit punched. He caught me good. I meant to yell, "Let go, it's my stick," but I think it came across as mainly crying. He went to punch me again, but Frankie DeAngelis grabbed him. "For Christ's sakes, you idiot," he said. "Let the kid have his stick. You want somebody to call the cops?" Frankie was the only one of them wearing leather. His black motorcycle jacket had silver zippers on the front, big ones, wide as railroad tracks, running slanted one way and the other across his chest. Larry told me jackets like that have a board up the back, so you can sit up straight in the motorcycle. Frankie didn't have a motorcycle. I guess he'd spent all his money on the jacket. But leather made him top rat when the older guys with wheels weren't around. The rat who grabbed my stick let go. I hit the sidewalk with my ass. "Keep your damn stick," he said. They watched me sitting where I landed. They could tell I was steamed at something. I was trying to stay that way. It was better than being scared. If I'd let myself get scared, I'd have run away. If I ran away, what would happen to Ginger? After a few minutes, Frankie said to me, "Hey, kid, no fooling. What are you going to do with that stick?" I was still hopping mad, but a civil question deserves a civil answer. "I'm going to beat somebody's head in." That same rat said, "Whoa," again. They all laughed. I didn't like the sound of it. Frankie asked, "Anyone we know?" "That depends," I said. "You know Larry Tucci?" I knew they did, but I didn't care. Now they all said, "Whoa," and they all laughed out loud. "What a friggin' coincidence!" Frankie laughed his guts out. "What a friggin' coincidence!" Peach Fuzz had been giving me a close going over. "Frankie," he said, "don't we know this kid?" Now Frankie looked at me closer. "I don't know. Do we?" "Sure," Peach Fuzz said. "He lives on Dolan Street. He's one of those Merino brats." Then he said to me, "What makes you think you can beat up Tucci, kid? He's two of you." "Hell," Frankie went him one better, "he's three of you." I didn't say anything. They didn't wait for me to say anything. Peach Fuzz said to me, "It just so happens we want to talk to Tucci ourselves. So take your stick and go home." "Yeah," Frankie nodded. "You can beat his head in later, if he's got one left." I looked at them. There were 5 of them. There was something sick and dirty about them being all together, waiting for Larry. I could hardly stay mad at the skunk. I started feeling sorry for him. I hated those rats. They made me feel sorry for Larry, and I hated them for it. It must have come through the way I was looking at them, because all at once Frankie came at me. He grabbed me by the collar and jerked me up and kicked me in the ass and yelled at me, "Get the hell out of here!" I ran. I dropped the stick and didn't stop to pick it up. I ran across the street. I jumped a fence, and I hid in a clump of trees behind someone's little shed. I felt so sick I could hardly tell where I was. From where I was hiding, I could still see them waiting on the sidewalk. I wanted to warn Larry not to come out of the school. As much as I'd wanted to beat his head in, just as much I wanted to warn him not to come out. But even when they keep you after school, you gotta come out sometime. So, if you want to find out what happens when Larry comes out and runs into the river rats, you'll have to buy a copy of Mr. Lake. As I said before, Mr. Lake is available as a paperback or as a Kindle ebook, and the Amazon links are down below in the description. As are other links to my other books, to my website, to my Amazon author page. So click on them, buy some books, and we'll both be better off. And while you're at it, you can always hit the subscribe button down below so you won't miss any of my videos. And if you would like to see other videos of me reading other excerpts from other works, a good place to start is by clicking on one of the boxes to either side of my head. So, that's it for today. I'd like to thank you for dropping by, and I hope to see you again real soon.